Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk with you again, because a vision softly creeping left its seeds while I was sleeping, and the vision that was planted in my brain still remains within the sound of silence.
My name is Kyle Rosendahl. I'm a director of engineering up at Hill Air Force Base. I've been doing that work similar work like it for over 30 years.
My name is Brandon Bassett. I am 27 years old. I live in Draper, Utah, and I'm a veteran, a software engineer, and I have tinnitus.
I was about 15 years old. I came down with a pretty severe flu, but it rapidly escalated into something much more serious. I started feeling quite dizzy, nauseous, much more so than other flus that I'd had. And then I started getting a ringing in my left ear, which became quite loud. And then it progressively just became all-encompassing, where I lost my hearing. All I could really hear was ringing.
I don't know if I can point to like one thing that I think caused it. I remember when I was younger being around my dad on a construction site and him using a ram set, which is you put a bullet behind a nail and shoot it into concrete, and it's super loud, and I immediately heard the ringing in my ears then. And then when I was a teenager listening to music too loud, and then being in the military, there was a time or two that I, fired a weapon without ear protection. Also, riding in a Black Hawk one time without ear protection was extremely loud. When you're younger, your parents tell you, don't listen to your music so loud, like that's going to hurt your ears, or you'll go deaf, and you just don't believe them. And I think that's really what caused it, is just a slew of things, loud concerts and firearms and things like that.
The tinnitus itself is a fairly high-pitched ringing sound, and it doesn't really vary much. As time has gone on over my life, though, weirdly enough, like a few times every year, the sound will change dramatically. I don't know why. And it can become so incredibly loud that it's distracting. I would almost say that it sounds a lot like an F-16 jet engine. It is that loud. Fortunately, those episodes only seem to last at the maximum a few hours.
So it's just a high-pitched ringing all day long. And so in my left ear, I hear about 10 kilohertz pitch all day long. And then in my right ear, it's about 12 kilohertz. So pretty high-pitched, but also it's loud. Like I can hear it right now, both ears, all the time. Like it kind of drives you insane, because it's like when you hear a ringing in your ears, if something is causing a ringing near you, everybody, like perks up, like, do you hear that ringing? And they try and like figure out what it is, if it's a TV or something like that, speakers. But it's just kind of like all the time, and there's nothing you can do to stop it.
Absolutely. In fact, with people I know that have had tinnitus or have had tinnitus emerge, I have the same level of anxiety, the same level of fear that I would have, that I had initially, and that most people would describe as when they're their first experience with tinnitus. For me, the fear is even elevated, because not only am I worried about the tinnitus itself, but I'm worried about the potential of losing hearing entirely in the remaining good ear I have and become completely deaf.
It affects my sleep. It has kept me up at night, especially when it's kind of a downward spiral of like anxiety, like recognizing it and thinking, oh man, I can't sleep. And I'm just listening to this, and then kind of that like almost panic where it's like, this won't go away and I can't sleep and I'm tired and I need to sleep, work in the morning or whatever your obligations are. It's kind of just like accepting that it's how my life is right now. I feel like before I had tinnitus, I took my hearing for granted. And so I tried to listen even more closely to things that go on around me. So at night I'll try and listen to the fan, to our ceiling fan, and like really pay attention to it, and like kind of appreciate the sounds that are going on around me. I feel like if I take the time to step back and like appreciate the hearing that I do have, it kind of makes it okay.
Adjusting to the tinnitus was really the difficult thing initially, and I was really, of course, there's a lot of anxiety that goes along with that. Even though I knew my hearing in my left ear probably was never coming back, the tinnitus itself was kind of scary in its own right. I was very fortunate, though. Among a lot of people, when they get tinnitus, regardless of the cause, have a very difficult time coping psychologically. And I was one of the very lucky few, I think, that I adapted to it quite rapidly. It only took maybe 6 or 8 weeks that I started to adjust to it. And really from that time on, I've been able to block it out, unless, of course, I'm talking about, like right now, for instance, and then it comes back in full force.
Some things that I do that I have taken up since having tinnitus is just like meditating, just getting my mind kind of in a peaceful, like relaxed place, because it kind of opens my eyes, opens my ears to what's going on around me, and helps me just kind of appreciate what's going on around me, relax me, and also just knowing that like it is what it is, and like it's a kind of a cliche to say, but you do what you can do about it and accept everything that you can't do about it, and just knowing that like I've put in all the effort I can. Now I just have to continue to live my life and be productive. Like you can't let tinnitus ruin or destroy your life, It's not really an option.
This my excavation to days cool. Everything that happens is from now. This is boring. This is pain.